All right.
No, I don't think we should be too serious. I think we should have some fun. It's people connect to it.
That's the intro there. Welcome everybody to the middle of our backstage conversation about sunglasses and being too serious. Well, serious. Welcome to the second Mega AMA. The first one of these was great. I hope you guys were there. It was a little bit of a different format. We were on X, but due to technical issues, we decided to bring it over here. So we're going to be streaming simultaneously on YouTube and X and I think some Twitch. We're all over the place on this one. And we got some great folks here. I think we lost somebody off stage. There we go. So what these Mega AMRs are about, it's about bringing projects from different sectors of crypto. Crypto is a big growing space. And these are about bringing those projects together in one place for all of you guys to be able to come and check them out, see if you want to participate in them and how you can benefit from them. Have some great conversations along the way, which we were already having backstage. So today, I'll just do some quick intros. You're going to learn a lot more about them from themselves. We have from Playables Jonathan. He's the CEO. He goes by AKA Old Bull. From Constellation Network, we have Ben Jorgensen. It's Jorgensen, right? All right. He's a CEO.
Got it.
And from Axelar, we have Jason Ma, which is his title is Head of DeFi, which that's a pretty cool title, I've got to say. Got to talk to Danny here. The Pillars DeFi. From there, we have David and Mad Hatter, who are the founder and co-founder. From 3 Meta D, we have Johan Parada. I probably should have done like intros backstage so to make sure I knew how to pronounce these exactly correct. But we learn on the fly, boys. He's the CEO as well. And then we have from Foxify, Janny. I'm just kidding. It's Danny. He's the CEO. And so how we're going to do this is we're going to have these guys just give an intro on their project, and then we'll go here one by one as soon as I figure out how to bring them on here one by one, so they're not just sitting here. We have a set of questions for them, but as questions come in from the crowd, we can add those as well. We do have prizes up for grabs. So from Foxify, we have 10 times 100 no-lose trades. So at 50x leverage, that's basically a $5,000 trade size. And how that works is you come in with your $100, you trade on the platform. Anything you win, you make it 10x or 5x, whatever it is. You keep all the money. If you get liquidated, you lose. We give you your $100 back. That's how a no-lose trade wins. From Playable, they're giving away 500,000 bull tokens to 2 users. From 3 Meta D, they're giving away 1 of the Orc NFTs. And they can tell you more about these as well in their little pitches. Pillars DeFi is giving away 2 times access to their exclusive Discord channel, which is normally a $50 a month value. And then 2 times their Pillars portfolio spots. So you'll have to head to their Discord to learn more about that. But again, we'll let people expand on what they're giving away during their elevator pitch or during their questions. So we have everybody here on stage. As you can see, some are on, some are off. As I can see, I'm the ugliest one on stage. It's not new to me. It's kind of my thing on these. It's all good. It's all good. So who I'm familiar with, so we'll just start with Danny. If you want to do an elevator pitch, and then we'll just rock around the room.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hello to anybody that's seeing us for the first time, and hello to the Foxify community. So I'm Danny. So introduction to Foxify. Foxify is a decentralized trading platform, perpetual futures. We also have options, which we're rebuilding and relaunching as well, actually. But it's with a twist, with an absolute twist. So decentralized trading, if you don't know what that is versus centralized trading, means no KYC, means it's self-custody, which means you're not giving over your funds and holding them on an exchange. Okay, so you can trade crypto pairs on the Foxify platform in a decentralized way, with up to 50x leverage. But the twist is we're currently on testnet, and we're very soon to be launching a decentralized prop trading application. It's not really a prop trading business because it's decentralized and it's fully smart contract based, but it simulates exactly the same environment. So what our funded platform does, like I said, it's going to be coming very imminently in the next couple of weeks, is it allows a trader to use the platform, and if you do well, you qualify for funding. So you know, basically it'll be the end of perps dexes as you know it, because you can go and lose your money on any of them, but Foxify will be the only one where if you do well for 7 days, we'll give you money to trade with. And if you continue to do well, we'll give you more money, and you get to keep 80% of the profits that you generate. So a really unique proposition. Prop trading is a 6 billion a year industry. Actually, it's 3 times the size of decentralized trading. It's huge. But it has its problems, and most of those problems are around trust, transparency, and all-in-one. Foxify solves all of those issues, and we're a first mover in the market as well. So yeah, that's the elevator pitch. But get yourself on the platform. We've got some big news coming in the next couple of days, and get yourself used to the platform, ready for all the big stuff that's coming.
All right, coming in hot. Let me see. So we will keep popcorn in here. Next on my list, I've got Playable Jonathan.
That's me. Just brief overview about us. What we do.
So this is just your elevator pitch. There'll be more talking to us one-on-one.
Cool. Okay, elevator pitch. Playable Games raises money through crypto, then gives that money to young, talented, up-and-coming, brilliant, amazing game developers to build video games. So we basically get paid to play games, which is totally what I was told you'd never get done when I was growing up and playing games. And now I am. And it's great. And my sons are involved in the company, and we've got 40 staff around the world. We launched at the end of the bull run in 21. So November 21, we sort of shaped it all up and launched on February 22, and then crashed out of the bull market into a bear run and spent 2 years building. So we've got our first game, Nexus, out now, which is a PC-based game, just free to play on Epic Games. Download it. It's 5v5 League of Legends type shooter. And that's lots of fun. That's in open beta now. We've got Ordinum out yesterday, which is our card game like Magic the Gathering. That's in open beta now on Epic Games, free to play. And you don't need to buy any NFTs or anything with our games. They're all free to play. And if you want to own your own assets and you want to have the chance to earn rewards while playing, then you can get involved in the NFT side. But we're actually pitching these games at gamers, not just crypto people. So we believe gamers will become crypto people over time, but they just need to be brought in gently and not sold the whole hype of what crypto is all about. So all of our stuff's free to play. You don't need a wallet to play them. You can just join. But if you want to own your own assets and if you want to get rewarded in game and get paid money, you can actually do that through Playable Games. That's what we do.
All right. Yeah, I'm excited to learn more because admittedly, I'm not a gamer, and so many people I know in crypto are very bullish on gaming in general, and so I need to learn more about it. And next we've got Ben from Constellation.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Cool to be a part of this with all you guys. Seems like there's some people are later in the day and have a little more energy on this, so I'm going to do my best.
I'm nearly asleep.
Oh, God, jeez. Yeah, so I'm Ben Jorgensen. I'm the CEO of Constellation Network, where we consider ourselves a layer 0 protocol, so our own blockchain ecosystem, where we invite developers to build their own application-specific blockchains on top of our network, so pure customization, with a focus of fetching off-chain data and bringing it on-chain. So one of our unique abilities is actually that we give developers the ability to build their own node network with incentivization, and we make it easy to integrate with existing technologies. Namely, we got started in early 2018, and we primarily work with the U.S. Federal Defense Department, and have received about the top 1% of all blockchain based contracts in the federal government. So go down a lot of different avenues, which I'm excited to dig in with you guys.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Contracts with the government. I actually knew that information from before, and I had forgotten about that. That is incredibly. So I'm excited to learn more about that.
It's an interesting time right now. Yeah, especially being in DC this week for lobbying with the government. So it's been.
When you said DC before, I was like, oh, it must have been like a crypto conference thing. I didn't know about it, but then you're saying this, like, I was like, there's the DC.
Yes.
All right, and so next is Jason from. Oh yeah, he's back with us. Hold on one second. There we go. Jason, you with us?
Yeah. Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you. This is Jason, my head of DeFi at Axelar.
Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, Axelar is one of the leading interoperability solution in the crypto space. Many people still think of interoperability as only like token bridging, but Axelar also has something known as message passing, which is the ability to call contracts, pass any payloads or commands across the 60 plus chains that Axelar supports. What that means is you can build out all kinds of cool cross-chain use cases like cross-chain swaps, cross-chain lending, NFT bridging, just to name a few. Axelar has partnered with some of the leading players in crypto, but also leading institutions like Deutsche Bank, JP Morgan, and so on. We're super excited to be working with Foxify to help them with cross-chain deposits as well as one-click user onboarding.
Yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, I've used your product quite a bit. Bridging is like something that's become much. I remember the first time using a bridge years ago, and I was relatively new to on-chain stuff, and it just was taking so long that I thought my money was lost forever. I was like trying to find like customer service to write. It was looking back, it was very embarrassing on my part, but much easier to do today. Let me see. And then from the pillars, we have David and Mad Hatter.
Hello. How is everyone doing? Thanks for having us. Thank you, Harley, for hosting this, and also Danny and Harley for having us here. This is a bit unusual for us because usually we're on the other side of the screen as we are the ones doing AMAs and doing the interviewing. So we're excited to be here. As I already said, we are a bit of an outlier here as well. We are a crypto community. We're the founders of a crypto community, Mad Hatter and I. What we do is we do AMAs. We interview a bunch of different projects from DeFi, crypto, also blockchains. So you name it. And our wonderful host, the Mad Hatter, he is asking the tough questions the right way. So what we're aiming to do is we're building a non-judgmental community where people can discuss projects openly, where they can point out maybe some faults in projects, of course, in a respectful manner, and also some positives, and have a space to discuss that freely. And also what we have as well, which is also part of the giveaway from our end today, is we have an engage to earn system. So the people that are engaging in our community are able to earn up to $70 per month. And then also we have a call group that is being facilitated by an extended arm of our team. And so that's it. But we're excited to also get some questions thrown at us today for a change.
All right. Sorry, we see Jason hopped off here again. Jason's having a few issues. He'll be back with us. But thanks for the intro, boys. It's good to be speaking with you guys again. Well, I didn't speak with you last time. I was a viewee, but it feels very familiar hearing your voices. All right, and then 3 Meta D. We have Joe.
Hey, how's it going, guys? How's everybody doing today? Thank you so much for having me on. I'm really excited to be here and kind of talk a little bit about what we're doing here at 3 Meta D and talk about kind of what our plans are and our first project, Orc Nation. I'm really excited to kind of share the offering. We're a play-to-earn indie game studio here from California. We're really kind of leveraging and trying to kind of tap into the roots of what gaming is all about, which is basically having fun, having great experiences and great times, rather than trying to concentrate on the play-to-earn mechanics. We're concentrating on the experiences that people will have and in extending the value to these, interactions, rather than trying to, try to make as much money as you can from the user. We're really trying to incentivize really what it's all about and trying to kind of tap in and incentivize people by providing them value in either education or also just having a great time in a great community. And so we can tap into some of the different incentive models we've built so far and kind of what type of mini games and such that we have to offer. I'm really excited to be here, and thank you for having us.
Yeah, excited to have you here, man. I appreciate the pitch in. And just for the crowd, I ran through the prize already, so maybe we have a few people here. Those are the elevator pitches. We're going to hop into some questions for each project specifically, so to go a little bit more in depth. But just for those prizes, it's 10 times $100 no lose trades, so it's up to a $5,000 trade size. There's 5,000 pool tokens that'll be to 2 users. There's an Orc NFT, and then there's access to a paid Discord channel. So it's an exclusive Discord channel that you can have access to via this, and 2 portfolio spots, which you'll have to learn more about from the project. And to be eligible for that, share out this AMA on Twitter with the hashtag. It's a hashtag FoxMegaAMA. And what we're going to do is we're going to have our marketing guy going through Twitter, finding folks, and then you can join us over on Discord for these prizes. So make sure you're sharing this out. All right, so now we're going to go to a more intimate setting. We're going to go to one-on-one here. So I'm going to start on my list over here with you, Ben, my Bay Area buddy. So I'm going to take everybody here off stage. I will bring y'all up one-on-one. And I want to see some more of those silly glasses when you guys come back up. There we go. Danny's outro. All right.
I need a pair of glasses like at my disposal. I don't have.
Yeah, your problem is you have some glasses on, but they're very distinguished glasses.
Yeah, I know. You never know. You know, I remember years ago doing Constellation when we started, and I had a pair of sunglasses on, and my profile picture in our community was in an uproar because it wasn't professional. Flash forward to 2024, and now anybody can create a cryptocurrency on Solana. You know, it's like the ebbs and flows of this industry.
Oh yeah, no, it moves fast. Admittedly, my Discord is professional, my Twitter is professional. My Telegram photo is definitely me in like a leather jacket with sunglasses with my son. So it's a bit more cash. Okay. So that Telegram is the one you end up using the most with crypto people, it seems like.
Yeah. How dare you say use email? Then you become a boomer.
Yeah,
so,
it was weird. We're going to my first like real conference as working in crypto, and everyone's like, "What's your Telegram?" And my Telegram was just full of like terrible projects that it was just like gambling stuff for me. You know, like not my serious stuff. I was never on CG for my serious stuff, and it was just I had to like clean it out because I added some contacts. I was like, all right, well, I guess this is a professional thing now. Yeah. So to anybody watching who gets into crypto, just know you'll be in for a surprise. There's no CCing on Telegram. Let me see. All right, so we've got a set of questions. It's 4 questions, and then you folks here in the audience, you can come in and if you have follow up on anything you said, on any what the guests say, or any new questions you have as well. They're all welcome. If they're crazy, I probably won't ask them, but you know, all questions you can type them out. Let's send them into the ether. All right, so let's get this rolling. So question number 1. All right, so this AMA has projects from many different sectors. What is the problem that your project aims to solve? And I'm sorry for you and anybody else that if there's any overlap with your elevator pitch, but just bring it at us.
Yeah, I would say the main problem is that when we think about Web3 technology, there's a lot of benefits from it. You know, immutability, auditability, traceability. And each system in Web3 is very insular, meaning they force you into using their frameworks or switch into their ecosystem, and then you're kind of bought into that ecosystem. And what Constellation has done is we've made it very customizable that we can work with existing infrastructure stacks. So when we started working with the federal government, they hadn't done a lot in blockchain. They'd explored a lot, done a lot of research and development, but they weren't able to rip and replace their infrastructure that they had built. So all their back end, their plumbing, their cloud infrastructure, you name it, that they'd already invested billions into, we had to make it so that they could integrate with existing systems. So our kind of solution, or if you will, is more about allowing people to not have to rip and replace and use the core tenets of blockchain technology across their existing stack of technology. Where the solution really lies is that you look at this world of data-driven applications, AI, financial data, IoT, anything that connects to a database is being used in a different way. Data is being collected in a different way. We're using it to make data-driven insights. Well, how do you measure that veracity, or how do you secure that data set once it goes into an application? Think of AI. Everybody's talking about the application layer of AI, like a chat GPT, but how do you know what inputs are going into AI? Where did the data come from? What was it influenced? What was the LLM influenced? And Constellation at large is solving that kind of veracity. So validating that data before it goes into automation in smart contracts. In Web3, we call that oracles. So allowing people to build oracles in a scalable capacity.
Yeah, I find it really interesting too. Like, I'm having trouble getting past just the fact that you guys have like basically is it calling it a military contract fair?
Yeah, it is. It's not a grant. It is a contract. We've been in contract with the military for about 5 years now. And we actually just achieved a huge milestone about 3 weeks ago with the federal government in showing interoperability between Constellation Network and really any smart contracting platform across a really large use case that I'm not really allowed to share. But I can kind of go around what it means, but really when we think of our federal contract is really actually using the promises of blockchain in a real world use case. So with regards to the military, they have high security threat vectors that occur when passing information. Think of mission data. When you're sending, they're sending out data about a mission to multiple partners, not just the federal government, but also to private contractors, right? So they send this information out. Who has access to it? Was it tampered? Was it spoofed in the process? Was the mission actually said what it was, and was it updated in real time? There aren't clear solutions to that right now, and blockchain solves the opportunity to kind of sign that data set as it goes from A to B to C. So it's a very, very large use case that we started with just one workflow, but now it's starting to expand to multiple agencies, multiple workflows with still a common vision.
That's wild. Do you have a security clearance to work with them?
A couple of people on the team do. I do not. It keeps me separate from it and not having to be in the management of it. But yes.
That's pretty cool. I'll keep doing, but that's blown my mind a little bit.
It is pretty cool, and it's an amazing track or partner to work with because they're so professional, they're so organized. There's intellectual debates. There's a lot of due diligence that goes into this. Not even just what the technology does, but also who our company is. And they've had to do background checks on all of us to be able to do this. So it's a pretty hard. It's a very hard path that I don't recommend it for most startups, but it also does allow, it allowed us to kind of build a protocol with a customer in mind. And I think you see a lot of other ecosystems that are like, hey, we're going to build all these tools, and then they hope people come and use them, versus building tools and solutions that are actually geared toward a customer that can actually scale the opportunity.
Yeah. Customer is blown my mind. So I used to work for the government. So in the government, they have, like, as an employee, you get what's called and the Brits will love this. It's called a James Bond ID. So it's like your government identification number, which I thought was very cool when I first started. Unrelated to this, but
very cool.
very
Oh,
spot.
you get how much bureaucracy there also is.
Oh, yeah, this is why it's blowing
Water.
my mind a little bit. I'm just like, man, you can get that in there. It's pretty, and for that department specifically, you know.
Yes. Yes.
Lots of it. So very impressive stuff.
Thanks.
Let me see. So, second question: many sectors of crypto have a lot of competition. What is your project's unique selling proposition?
Yeah, I think our unique selling proposition goes back to what I said earlier, is that we kind of create these like Web 2 frameworks that people can build like they do a website, but build on Constellation, meaning that we can integrate with Docker containers. There's Java libraries to make it easy to integrate with existing tech stacks, and we allow for pure customization. Now, there's a good and bad side of pure customization. Oftentimes, when you have customization, you have kind of people overwhelmed by what they actually can do. But for us, we see it as an opportunity for application developers to build whatever they want. So they can actually design their own network. They can have node operators or validator nodes on their own subnetwork. It connects to our hypergraph, which we call layer 0, since everybody can build their own layer 1. They can build a network that's specific to their core application. So, for example, we acquired a company in 2021 that collected foot traffic data. So it's a piece of hardware that they invented. They sold to brick and mortar retailers to measure foot traffic, to give them operational insight on their business. How many people are walking by? Are we staffed correctly? What is the revenue per person that came in? How did that marketing campaign go? And what was interesting is not that we're a foot traffic company, but for us, it was the ability to eat our own dog food. So if we wanted to prove out how our technology can scale into real world applications, real world assets such as data, we acquired the company and created our own application specific network, which we call a Megagraph, that validated the data that was collected. And then we issued a cryptocurrency reward for the data collected. And so what happened was pretty interesting. By making this data transparent and showing how we're securing data at scale from IoT, we actually created a whole new customer base that helped us deploy these devices to brick and mortar. So we started seeing what we call internally these chapters of datapreneurs, or these entrepreneurs that took these devices and went to their local grocery store. And they went to the local grocery store, surf shop, and they're like, hey, let me put this device in. It'll collect foot traffic. You don't need to pay for it. I'll actually pay you at the end of the day. I'll come by and pay you every month. I'll maintain the device for you, and then I'll provide analytics and insights. So they took our traditional business and they actually restructured it and allowed them to kind of get involved in the whole sales process. So it's pretty fascinating. But for us, that really just created a template of what you can do with data and what it means, right? Once again, the customization spiel is often a little overwhelming for people, but when you're like, oh, here's one example of putting IoT data on a blockchain, you don't need to understand the complexity of what we're doing on the federal government, but you can actually see something, very tangible and the outcome of it. So call that the DPIN movement. That's kind of a new thing that happened that we fell into, years ago. And I think that we were the pioneers in kind of pushing the DPIN movement through, which gets us into a lot of different conversations. That even things like the putting IoT data on a blockchain actually opened up more federal engagements around satellite data, right? So if we could do this with a hardware sensor, what other sensors or what other pieces of hardware could we deploy light nodes onto physical hardware? So not to get too into the weeds there, but going into the differentiators around and with different use cases.
Yeah, you had me at a datapreneur.
It's a concept we came up with as like, these are entrepreneurs with the intention of collecting and monetizing data, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna use that. I've tried to get my wife to be a bit more entrepreneurial. She's a data scientist, so I'm gonna start calling her a datapreneur, and I'm gonna act like I came up with it. So,
I love it. I mean, take it. I love it. That's a really great example. Yeah.
All right. So I guess the next question is about how that rolls into like the future plans here, right? So we're in the from a like a market perspective, we're going into this growing bull, right? Which you've had a contract providers, you guys have been around for a long time. You know how it goes. So how do you guys plan to fit into the upcoming bull market, and what does the future overall hold for you guys?
Yeah, we have a lot of things. So our ecosystem, as much as we preach not being insular and kind of allowing customization, we've actually started quite a big push on being multi-chain, more accommodating to other ecosystems, and then also providing more incentives for developers to come into our ecosystem. So a couple months ago, what does that look like? So a couple months ago, we launched our first grant program, which is based on milestones. So developers are applying for grants, and we put milestones so that they can we don't actually just give them a bunch of our tokens, but they can actually work towards milestones and receive tranche-based grant funding to realize their vision. The second step that we've taken, and this was announced about it, I think it was last week, actually. Yeah, last week. We built one of the first multi-chain alliances with Ripple, Hedera, and Algorand. And we're one of the founding members of this alliance called DREC, which is focused on creating standards for password recovery and custody across wallets, right? So our ecosystem has our own wallet, Stargazer wallet. You download it. We'll probably be doing an airdrop at the end of this. But why that's interesting was you're starting to see true multi-chain alliances with some sort of tangible outcome come to the forefront. And password recovery and self-sovereignty of your wallet is a pretty big issue in the industry. We want decentralization, but self-custody is rather hard. Now take that to the enterprise route, which we have a lot of experience in. If there's no common best practices on password recovery, doesn't that make it extremely difficult and present new boundaries into coming into blockchain at scale? Yeah, there's centralized self-custody services, but to kind of realize the full vision, you need some sort of standard best practices. So coming together with Algorand, Hedera, and Ripple, something we announced last week, was a huge push for us to be on the center stage with some rather other big projects in it. And I truly believe in this vision that it's a huge problem out there. So that's one thing that I think this multi-chain approach and kind of showing how each ecosystem is different, has different benefits. We can all still come together, and it's not like some big competition. The third major thing that we're doing to prepare for the upcoming bull run is providing new frameworks on tokenomics for people to explore. We're enhancing kind of our developer tools and doing some larger releases over the next month. We're building a bridge into Ethereum. So DAG is our native currency into the Ethereum ecosystem. And then we're preparing to do a hackathon leading up to the launch of our first ecosystem DEX that will allow people to swap between different tokens in our ecosystem. So that, alongside of our existing narrative in the enterprise, is really what we're doing to lead up to the bull run. A lot of stuff, actually.
Yeah, it's a big future stuff.
Yeah.
All right, and I guess the last one here, just kind of covers all the things you went over, is for anyone new to the project here, which should be a good amount of people, as these things are all about. And for people asking in the chat as well, like why we host these, went over at the beginning, but it's about bringing together different audiences from different sectors so we can all learn. So I'm learning stuff just hosting this, and I love crypto and I love learning new stuff, and I hope everyone in the audience does as well. But for anyone new to your project here, this is a question for you. How would you recommend they get involved, and where do they start?
I think some of the cool things are, we have this product called the DTM Lite. It's the door traffic miner. I was talking about how you collect foot traffic data. You don't really need a whole lot to get started. You can buy it on our website. Our lowest cost one is $500. You buy it. There's a supporting application on iOS and Android. It'll guide you through setting up the device. It will create a wallet for you to receive crypto rewards. And it's like an easy way for people to feel safe in getting into crypto and start kind of mining data, if you will. So I think the DPIN has been a really great exercise for us to get newbies into the space, kind of get them familiar with what we're doing in a small scale way. I would also say if you're looking to be a developer, we are pushing through development grants. We are offering developer support as well. In the coming month or so, we'll be announcing our hackathon, which will have various awards and prizes. So there's a lot of different ways to get involved. As with any ecosystem, there's a lot of different ways, but start following the conversation on Twitter. We post a lot of our stuff that we're doing with federal. We posted a lot of stuff what we were doing in DC this week. I was giving a keynote at the DC Blockchain Summit, which was really a bunch of policymakers and legislatures. So it was a bunch of congressmen, senators, all talking about the need for positive regulation versus kind of what the SEC has been doing on this kind of.
Oh, did he freeze for everyone, or am I frozen? He's frozen. Okay. Well, that was at the end of it was the last question here. Anyways, I'm still good. All right. Well, very interesting stuff there. Looks like we lost them at the very, very end. But we will be sharing out a link to the socials. So do follow them. I may be buying one of those devices just for my own thing. So let's just me now, boys. How y'all doing? So we're going to pop over to Danny. So when Danny's ready to come on stage. Danny's frozen as well.
I'm here. Sorry, I wasn't expecting to be so soon, actually. So I'm like, I turned the camera off so you couldn't see me furiously typing away, and I was doing things in the background. So yeah, I wasn't expecting to be here so soon. But hello, Harley. This is weird because you're interviewing me and we know each other pretty well. So I could probably do the interview. Yeah, but I just want to do a little shout out to someone pretty special, and Badgerland Crypto. I can see you. I see you in the chat. I see you calling me out. So me and him have got some long running issue that's going to be settled at some point. So yeah, shout out to Badgerland Crypto. So Harley, what would you like to know?
Publicly, let me see. I got some private questions. I want to know where did you bury the treasure? Where are the bodies? What's going on? Yeah, no, but I mean, you did the pitch. Obviously, I'm pretty caught up on things with you. Although we are owed a one-on-one probably after this. But we'll just run through the questions with you because we have some new people here to Foxify as well. Yep. With so many people here, so many projects here from different sectors, what exactly is the problem that Foxify aims to solve?
Yeah, it's a good question. Really good question. I think look, decentralized trading platforms as a whole, I think the problem that solves, the fear of not having custody of your own funds, sort of the FTX sort of issue that happened is one sort of example that everybody goes to. Ultimately, decentralized trading, it helps to democratize as well trading, but I think the most obvious sort of problem that it solves is this concern around not having custody of your own funds. In addition to that, if you're trading on a centralized exchange, it's very difficult for the centralized exchange to be impartial for a number of reasons. So without going into too much detail, they control the price oracle. and also they control your funds. As soon as they're on the platform, it's not your funds anymore. So clearly, decentralized trading, I think, if you know about decentralized trading, people will sort of already understand sort of that problem that it solves from a prop trading perspective. And I think, considering there's probably 200, maybe 200, if you include options, maybe 250 decentralized trading platforms, most people have had some interaction, but many people within DeFi won't have had an interaction with the prop trading industry, because it has next to zero representation actually in crypto. So it's predominantly a Web2 space, and it's a space where there are some good companies, but there are many bad companies. And ultimately, the prop trading model is one where I promise you, Harley, if you give me some money, pay a deposit, then I'll give you untold riches. You can have 100,000, 250,000. It's almost a competition to come up with a number with the most zeros, and that draws people in. They pay a deposit and they paper trade, which is probably the worst way to find out whether you can trade, because a lot of the emotion is gone. And the promise is that if you do well, we'll let you trade with real money. And you can, become rich with your bazillion dollars that you trade, and keep most of the profits. Now, the reality is that they don't really believe that you're going to be a successful trader, and actually it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all a bit of a game. And when you think that you're funded, actually you're still in this like simulation. You're still in paper trading mode, and it's called Google it. It's called like an A and B book model, and basically a lot of retail prop traders, they're betting on the fact that there will be more new Harleys with deposits than we'll have to pay out in winnings to Harleys, and that's their business model ultimately. Just get enough suckers through the door, and we'll make more money from the suckers than we have to pay out to the people that are actually any good at trading. Now, they can't be impartial at that point, because they also are motivated to reduce the amount of people that win when they're trading as well. So really, the way you can solve that with Web3, and it's really mind-blowing that nobody's done this yet, although there is a lot of secret sauce to our model, so it's not easy to do. The problem that it solves, it brings trust, it brings transparency. You're trading with real funds on Foxify from day one, and you can see the USDC leaving your wallet. You don't pay a deposit. Problem it solves is trust and transparency, whilst giving the same value proposition. Somebody can trade, and if they do well, they will get access to funds that are not theirs, and if they generate profit with that, they get to keep most of the profit that they generate. So you get the same value proposition, just in a decentralized way, and with full trust and transparency.
I was very juiced heading into funded, because I'd done so well last year trading. And as I've discovered through some of my trading simulations, that may have been a product of low volatility in the market. My strategy, I was immediately liquidated like 3 times attempting this. So I've come up with a new strategy, but it sounds very interesting. So, and you are operating in a space with a lot of competition within crypto, right? Lots of perps, DEXs. And sorry if this is a double down, but what is the USP for Foxify?
Yeah, well, the USP is a combination of trading and the prop trading application in one, actually. So there's other USPs actually if you just compare propositions side by side. Forgetting the trust, the transparency, the decentralization. We don't set the price of the asset on the platform; it's set by our partner Pith, which is a decentralized feed. So there's but that just adds to the trust and transparency argument. From a USP perspective, you don't actually have to pay as a deposit; you just have to trade on the platform. And that gives us a USP versus on this side, this 6 billion a year industry that isn't represented in crypto and DeFi, and it gives us a USP on the other side versus the 200 odd trading platforms that are out there, because we're not just a trading platform, we're one where your upside is significantly higher if you do well on the platform.
All right. And so how does your project plan to take advantage of the growing bull market, and what does the future hold for you? So how are you putting funded on the ground and using it to pound Foxify into the echelons of crypto?
Well, I think there's a few different things that you know, we're not building a business for the bull run. You know, it's it's a business that can survive any market and thrive in any market. I think one of the biggest successes of the last bear market was probably GMX, which is it doesn't have funding, doesn't have any of the application that we've built, but they were still able to be successful. Now, the fact that we're a first mover and it's super unique puts us in a really strong position, and the upside opportunity is significant because, you know, we are sort of operator number one in the model that we've got. So positioning ourselves for the bull market naturally, you know, we want to you know, as you get an inflow of additional people, then we're well positioned for, you know, we have a token, people can earn a share of trading fees, so there's ways that people can participate in the project if they're not a trader. But really, you know, ultimately the fundamentals of our business are around trading, and what we see is the ability to put, you know, to bring a market on chain. The Forex doesn't care about the crypto sort of trends, and commodities don't care about, you know, Bitcoin cycles, and ultimately we're bringing, you know, a business on chain that is worth 6 billion a year and doesn't care about crypto cycles. Yeah.
I've come up with a new plan after trading in the bear market on the DEX and then investing in the bull market. I'm going to spin the bear market this time. Instead of throwing my money at projects and pissing a lot of it away like I did this past bear market, I think I'm just going to trade and try to save some of my money. So for anyone new here, how would you recommend they get involved, and where do they start?
Sorry, say that again, Harley. I missed it.
So for anyone new here who's new to Foxify, how would you recommend they get involved, and where do they start?
Good question. Go to either our Discord or our Telegram. You know, there's plenty of team members around to offer advice and support. Head to the website, connect to the platform, try it out. It's you know, it's always a great place to start. But get yourself into the community and ask questions. It really depends what you want. If you're a token person, then, you know, we're just before some huge launches, and you know, there's probably an opportunity right now. It's a great entry point if you're not financial advice. If you're somebody that's more interested in holding a token that can deliver some APY, well, if the price is relatively low like it is at the moment, then that means that the trading fees buy more tokens from the open market and distribute those to stakers, and people are earning more in percentage terms actually, because, you know, it'd be nice if the token 100x, but at the same time you need trading volume to 100x to maintain the same level of reward. So you're in a bit of a sweet spot at the moment if you're sort of more of a token person. If you're a trading person, get involved, get in the community. There's a lot of stuff going on. Funded, we've been running multiple simulations, which are now starting to come to an end. We've got some big announcements in the next couple of days around some trading competitions and also some promotions around fees. So a little bit of a tease there. And and I'd get yourself ready. We've got you know, the next few weeks is going to be pretty insane.
Yeah, we got a question here of when funded on DAG. That's a good question. My question is when funded with a military contract. You know, how can we get our drone pilots to be working on trading perpetuals? Yeah,
that's some Venn diagram, that is.
With Ben, it'd be a Venn diagram, right? Really good. So, yeah, I'm a father. All right, so that's our question for you. So we will bring up next on my list here. I think we lost him backstage, so we will skip him for now. But we will bring up. Bye, Danny. We will bring up. Let me see here, Jonathan. He is old, aka Old Bull.
I am the old bull.
Yeah,
the old,
all right, so
the old fat bull guy.
Well, I'm just an aging bald guy. So, you know, there are stages in our Pokemon of the bald.
You got
Pokemon.
This to look forward to. Yeah.
Hey, I'll let my wife know. All right, man. So thank you for the elevator pitch. Thank you for being here.
Pleasure.
I love these events. I want to learn a bit more about yours. So you heard the standard questions here. And again, I apologize if any of your answers kind of overlap based on the follow-up questions or with your elevator pitch, but feel free to reiterate it. Right. The key to sales is what is it? Repetition. Is that what it is? You can tell what kind of salesman I am. So this project this AMA has projects from many different sectors. What is the problem your project aims to solve?
Well, I mean, Playable's built to solve the biggest problem of gaming, which is that you don't own your assets. So gaming takes an incredible amount of time. So and we're talking about PC games. We're not talking about like a little mobile game you play while you sit on the toilet or you're waiting at the dentist. We are going to build some of those as well, but we're not really interested in that. That's more our community's asking for a couple of those little games. But we're actually building proper PC games like League of Legends and Fortnite and Daisy and those sort of games. So Rust. So that's sort of games we're building. Games that the criteria that we work on is when you're driving home from work, you're already thinking about what you're going to be doing in that game tonight. You're like, I'm going to try this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try this combination. So if the game doesn't do that to you, as soon as you get off work, as soon as you get to relax and start thinking, right, heading home, what am I going to do when I get home? If the game's not calling to you, the game's not good enough. So that's what we're building. We're building games like that. And once we've got the fun side taken care of, then we actually bring in the crypto side and work out how can we cryptonize this? How can we add crypto to it that's going to really make this bring you into solving the biggest problem that is in gaming, which is you don't own the assets. So when you're putting in, let's say you play World of Warcraft, for example, which is obviously a fantastic game Blizzard made 15 years ago, or whatever it was, 18 years ago. You're putting in hours upon hours upon hours a week, like 30 hours, 40 hours after your job. And then at the end of the time, Blizzard owns everything. I had a friend of mine banned for doing something that was really quite minor. He wasn't trying to hack or anything. He was buying gold and he got banned. He lost years of his life in that game because that's all locked in an account. Well, we don't believe that's very fair. We believe that all those assets that he bought and earned, because a lot he earned, should belong to him. So that's really what Playables started out doing. But it's also the play, we call it play and earn. We started with play to earn, but once we got our first game live, we were introduced to the absolute incredible feats that people will go to hack the system. So to steal the money, basically. Yeah. So and they're inventive and resourceful and intelligent. And so we actually have a team now. Part of our 40 people team is we've got a couple of guys that work full time just solving that issue. So it's a real problem, but we're getting there.
Yeah, pardon me. Yeah, I think I remember a story. And I could be misremembering this about some of Vitalik Buterin's motivation was him losing a World of Warcraft character that he built over like a long time. Not specifically for gaming, but for like decentralization.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember the exact story, but it was something like that. So I think it is a problem that many people have, including the almighty Buterin. So many sectors of crypto have a lot of competition. What is your project's USP?
We've got several different things that we're doing that separate us out. The first one is we're a family business. As you can see, we're doxed. We don't hide behind icons, or you want to find out who we are, look at our LinkedIn profiles. We've got 4 family members, my wife, myself, my 2 sons. So we're the founders. We started. Our sons actually funded the company. We were busy raising 3 teenagers at the time, and we were not very well off to start companies at the time. And our sons put $50,000 of their own money up to $25,000 each to fund the actual company. So that allowed us to then get that first run where we raised several $1 million from our community. And then those funds, we've hired out 36 other people after us to fill in the void. So my wife and I have a master's degree in marketing each. So we're qualified in marketing and we actually understand how that works. And then we've hired out the actual game devs and the gaming experts and the people that need, and the business experts as well. Because the biggest problem with any company is that if you try to do it all yourself, you only get to a certain level. Very few people have the skills to take company very far. And my wife and I have run multiple like small businesses over the years, real estate agencies and things like that. So we've got business experience, but to build a decent sized business, you've got to hire expertise. So we've definitely done that. We've used the funds to hire out a very high level staff. Again, all fully doxed. Everyone who works in our company has to be fully doxed. And you can check their background. You can check what they do. You can check. So go to LinkedIn, go to our website, follow the links. And we really believe that's important in crypto. The time of 2014, 15, where you hid behind an image and didn't show your face, I think that's pretty much what it should be over. But it'd save a lot of stress with things. Just, I mean, a big gaming company just rugged the other week. They just literally just pulled several $1 million out and said bye, and exited before it was all gone because they knew they weren't going to get a game out. So all these NFT companies that promise a game, they've never built a game before. They don't understand what it is. They don't understand what it means. They don't understand the commitment. They don't understand how hard it is. They don't understand how much money it takes. They raise $2 million and think they're going to build a game. It costs $2 million to start building a game, and you can build small shitty games, but I'm talking about a proper game. The other thing we're doing is we're really focused on fun. So the games have to be fun. They've got to be engaging. They've got to be proper games. So the days of buying, like paying money to get a sword, and then you got a sword, and so does my sword beat your sword? Oh, I don't know. Let's push a button, click. Oh, your sword beat my sword. Oh, I lose. Oh, okay. Put more crypto in. Oh, okay. That game, if you want to call it a game, is called a clicker, and we think they're terrible. So that was the last cycle. That's Axie Infinity and those sort of games. They were really about clickers and getting into gaming that way. And it was a necessary step. But this cycle, we're going to see really good games come out. We've got 2 out now, and by the end of this year, we'll have 4 out. So you can actually play for free, and as I said, our intention is that you'll be thinking about them coming home from work, the one that you like, and you'll be getting excited about it.
So like that feeling of when you're a kid, like you just like unwrapping that new game. I remember those days when I did play video games. Those are the good times. And yeah, the rugging stuff. I've seen some things rug that, I mean, it made 0 sense. Like even from like just a benefits point of view, right? Like I guess if you sell like a fake thing, there's like an unrealistic business.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen things raise money for like the thing they said they were going to do isn't like very outlandish. They raise a good amount of money. I'm like, you have in front of you like an opportunity to like have legitimate success, and like you're just like, nah, I'm good. Like I just don't. At that point, you're just like, I don't want to work. Like you had the opportunity to like make extreme money working, but
I think a lot of rugs are just like they don't really know that they've sold this idea and then they don't know how to do it. So like it was a great idea. The idea was sounding good, and I mean, like, I was talking at the beginning of this, we had someone in our Discord talking about, we're manipulating the price because our price has gone like in a channel over the last couple of weeks. And I'm just laughing. Like that's a really good thing that our price has stayed stable over the last couple of weeks, because a lot of other companies have been going down over the last couple of weeks. So it means that people in our community are buying the bottoms and pushing it back up again. So it's like that sort of sideways movement, just what Bitcoin's doing at the moment. It's just a really strong presence, ready to spring. So, people are always going to find things like that are just crazy. And you really want to try and get the next step. So,
and so I guess you were talking about your project there and what it's doing and the sector is doing. So with the growing bull market that we're in now, can can be a lot. Like when you're keyed into it, day to day can feel like the bull's here, then it's not here, and then what's happening with my life? Why is my net worth down 20%? Why am I feeling wealthy today? So, what are your plans for the upcoming bull market, and what does the future hold overall?
Well, we've been in the bull market for a year. So bull markets start at the bottom of the old market. So like I follow a guy called Jason Pizzino out of Australia, and I think he's a really good chartist and one of the few guys that really comprehends the cycles about what's going on. So we've been in the bull market for a year. The halving is basically halfway through the cycle, the 4-year cycle. And we've been through a 13-month bear run, and we've come through the first year now of the bull run. So we're halfway through. So we're now in the second half of the bull run. And this is the fun time. This is where we start to see all-time highs click in. We've already had one prior to the halving, which is the first time ever that ever happened. So I think the bull run is going to be long and it's going to be strong. And there's some people talking about a left-handed market, closing out early at the end of 2024. I don't think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see, this is an election year. If you look at all the election years over the last 100 years, they're always strong. The incumbent government makes sure that they have a strong economic year because they need that going into the election. So that's standard. I think we're going to have a very strong 2024, most probably a very strong first half of 2025. And then I would expect all-time highs second half 2025 with a closeout either end of 2025 or early 2026. So for Playable, we've spent the last 2 years building through the bear run and this first year of the choppy upward bull run. And we had enough funds. We raised several $1 million in our opening. So we've been able to pay our staff. We had 40 staff working on 35 to 40 over the last 18 months building. So we've now got 2 games out, and what we're trying to show is that we're actually doing what we say. So it's really easy to talk and say, oh, if you give us all this money, we're going to build this, this, and this. Well, the next question to ask after that is, well, okay, how long has that company been going? So have they been going? All right, are they brand new? Well, if they're brand new, there's no doubt taking a punt on a new up and coming thing is not a bad idea. I totally disagree with, you should only deal with old companies. That's silly. The best opportunities you're ever going to get is going to be on a brand new company, but it's also the highest risk. So, so any company that's got through the bear run, their risk is much lower. There's much more likelihood they're going to make it into the bull run and keep going. Mm-hmm. And then this bull run is going to be big. They're most probably going to continue into the next bull run. So they'll have funds to get through the next bear market. So the next question you have to ask is, what does the company do? So are they in a good industry? Well, we all know the gaming industry is growing worldwide. It's just last year and the year before it eclipsed the movie industry and the music industry combined. So gaming is a massive industry. Yeah, it's amazing. It's the amount of money going through gaming now. Like esports participants, the guys that play in the top level of the League of Legends and those sort of full combative games, they are earning more than tennis players. So it's like, and golfers. So like the esports industry is actually becoming quite big, and it will soon be the largest sporting arena in the world. And obviously Playables, our Nexus game, which is out live now, you can start practicing. We are bringing out a multi-million-dollar tournament over the next couple of years. So that will be you can actually play and be a professional player and get paid to play. So we've got tickets that you can buy if you want to back yourself. I call it backing yourself. It's easy to talk the talk, but can you walk it? So let's put $10 on it. You reckon you're a really good player and you can win? I win 7 out of every 10 games. Do you? Well, let's back yourself. Let's see if you do. And so you can buy a ticket and back yourself, and so the winner takes all. So we've got all that coming. That's all being built into our blockchain. We own our own blockchain. We've built our own blockchain during the bear run, and we've done that to make sure that we can control latency. We want to make sure that when games are online, they're actually working properly. Since our games are bigger, a lot of our games are on servers. So, and we use our own blockchain to manage the NFTs and all that sort of stuff. So, but yeah, the bull run is going to be amazing. We've got another 12 months at least of that, and 12 to 18. And by the end of it, we should see, should be very exciting.
Yeah, I sure hope we have 12 to 18 months, because left translated cycle would be a bummer. I love the dopamine hits I get in the bull market. Completely different. just waking up, like good notifications on my phone.
Look, from what I've seen, and I study this stuff, I spend an hour to 2 hours every day watching multiple videos on what's happening in the market. There is absolutely no evidence at this point that we're in a left translated market. Everything is saying the opposite of that. So people shouting that out are just trying to get clicks. All right, I'm not an expert trader.
In that case, you heard it here first. It's a left translated cycle.
Yeah, good luck. Sell all your stuff now, quick, get out. It all closes out next week.
All right, so last question. So for anyone here who's new to your project, how would you recommend they get involved, and where do they start?
Jump on Twitter, follow the links, go to our Discord. Our family is in Discord. We've got a saying, Discord is, Twitter is the loudspeaker and Discord is the frat house. So come to the frat house, get involved with the community, hang out with the lads. We've got guys and gals in there. It's great fun. And we've got a 30,000 strong community and growing. We're a small market cap. We're just on the outside of the 1,000 top cryptos. We were in them. We had a 15x earlier this year. Just the gaming sector's just come off now while we're waiting for Bitcoin to get a move on. So, but we'll bounce back up there again and be back in the top 1,000 again, top 500. We were in the top 500, I think, 400 and something. So, So Discord is the place to be. Follow us on Twitter. We've got YouTube channel and that sort of stuff. But Telegram, we've got a Telegram channel, but it just directs you back to Discord or Twitter, because running so many different channels is just, you got to put people there to do it. So our Discord channel has moderators on 24 hours a day. You'll be able to get a question answered within about 10 minutes. So every single time you go in there.
All right.
So
here, come to the frat house, lads.
Frat house, hang out, drink some beer, tell some jokes.
All right, well, thank you for coming, man.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Take care. All right, guys. So we have a couple more, I think it is. I know we stretched it out. Well, by we, I mean I've talked too much. I am genuinely interested in these things, so it is a bit difficult for me to move through. But so we're going to bring on the next person. But real quick, as a reminder, to be eligible for the prizes, to tweet out the link to this AMA with the hashtag Fox Mega AMA. And then our marketing guy will be selecting those folks from Twitter, because this is all recorded as well, so people can come and watch it later. I know when I miss an AMA, I want to attend. I'll listen to it later while I'm doing whatever I'm having to do instead of the thing I want to do. All right, so up next, let's bring on the pillars. All right, so we got Mad Hatter and
hello.
Dave. How you doing, boys?
Woohoo!
I am doing awesome. How are you, Harley? More to the point, these things are never easy to facilitate, and you're doing extraordinarily well. So well done. But how are you finding it?
It's a lot of fun. I was nervous coming in because I'm not a host by any means. I have bad manners. I've enjoyed it, but hearing and being able to ask questions is pretty good, because I do like a chat. I definitely do like a chat. Danny will tell you that. You get into a meeting with me and you'll be 20 minutes into the meeting before we're talking about like what we're supposed to be talking about, because I love to talk and just chop it up with people. I find people and things interesting. So it's good. And I know I've listened to you guys chat as well. I think you guys love a chat.
We do. Yes,
From
yes,
time
we
to time,
do.
man.
We'll try not to be an hour for the three of us.
Well, I'm looking forward to the small time that we do have together, and maybe actually, now that you said you like to chat, we can get you in for an extended conversation in our house at some point.
Oh yeah, I'll come over. I'm not sure what people want to know about Harley, but I will tell them. All right, so we'll just jump right in. So question number one is this AMA has projects from many different sectors. What is the problem your project aims to solve specifically?
You know, we were going back and forth on this, David and I. As he said in the introduction, we are an AMA space predominantly that brings community members together, tries to educate them through meaningful conversations. And we were going back and forth on what is the problem that we're trying to solve. And we came to the conclusion, actually, we're not trying to solve any problems. Really, the reality is we see ourselves as problem makers. We're there to try and create a bit of a problem by asking the kind of questions that you're asking now, right? It's you get a good project or a bad project in front of you, and you want to find out everything about them. Do they have the chops to run what they say they can run? Is it designed in the way it should be designed? Does it work the way it should work? Can they communicate effectively? These things are all, very important to successful projects. So our job is to turn up and really just create a little bit of a problem by asking tough questions, and then encouraging both the project leads and the community as a whole to start solving those problems so that we can all really help one another grow. Because I think sometimes the best way to really grow, succeed, and do well is to tap into the smart minds that are often lurking in the background that don't say an awful lot all the time, but when they do say something, it's intelligent, it's insightful, and it can really help. And then secondary to that, I think just listening to all of the people that have spoken today so far, we've had a lot of information thrown at us. A lot of conversation that's vitally important about security, wallet recovery, rugs, paper trading platforms that aren't doing what they say they should be doing. And I guess a problem that we do solve in a way is taking all of that information and condensing it into bite-sized, understandable, digestible chunks. And we try and do our best to emulate some of the really good hosts and the really good KOLs in this space. I see Pelton is listening at the minute. He's one of those people that's really good at taking information and just boiling it down to its bare essentials so that people can understand what's being said, because this space really has to start with education, and part of what we do and the main thing that we do is education, really. I don't know if you want to add on to that, David.
I think the one thing that I want to add on is what we're also aiming to do is be also a voice for the community, for the investors. We have often a lot of times projects that come along, and of course they are excited to present their project and all of that. And sometimes, of course, fortunately not that often, but sometimes they are basically forgetting that the most important aspect of any project is the community, the investor. And so we are trying to give those people that are maybe a bit shy or silent, just observing, we're trying to give them a voice. That's basically what we're trying to do.
Yeah, those are pretty interesting events. So I know we're going to have the last question on how people can get involved, so I'll let them do that. But you guys should attend one of them. They are really interesting. So many sectors of crypto have a lot of competition, and I know you guys are like in a unique sort of piece of that. So how would you classify your USP within your space?
David, do you want to go first on this one, or would you like me to?
Oh, you go.
Our unique position, well, first and foremost, is how we approach our AMAs. We, for example, won't take any pre-questions. We come into the research, and we do a lot of extensive research, but we come into the research from an investor's point of view. So we try to minimize the amount of conversation that we have with project leads leading up to the event that we're going to have. That way we know that the questions are going to be as genuine as possible. The answers are going to be very genuine, and it allows for a really nice flow of conversation. But our space is more than just the AMAs that we have. We really value community and community members' time. So we have an initiative where we allow projects to contribute to what we call the Pillars portfolio, or the PP, which often makes people laugh. That's David's came up with that name, FYI, so you can grill him on that in a minute. So the PP is there to grow. It grows as projects grow. It grows as the projects do well. And we will reward people for the time and effort they spend within our space, the time and effort they spend supporting those projects, talking about those projects, be it via tweets, sharing, YouTube events like this one, for example, discussing the projects itself within our space. They can gain points, and at the end of each month, if they've gained enough points, and they've, there's a couple of hoops that they might have to jump through in terms of X amount of tweets or people that they bring in to help us grow as well, get the word out there. If they've gained enough points, they can get a part of the Pillars portfolio. They then own a part of that portfolio, and that's given to them as a reward and a thank you for their time. And at the moment, it sits at up to $70. So you can earn up to $70 a month just for engaging with us. But as the portfolio grows and as more projects come in and start to recognize the value of having such an engaged community, we are then going to be able to up that and, give people more of a reward back.
All right.
David, do you want to touch a little bit on Oscar's calls? Because that's something I didn't mention.
Yeah, I also want to touch on, you have mentioned it, Harley, a couple of times, the portfolio spots that we're giving away. It's basically an immediate beneficiary status that already gives them access to the reward. So it's basically already like a cheat code to immediately get a part of the rewards. That's what we're giving away. And as Matt Hatter has just said, we also have something called Oscar's Calls. It's a call channel in our space, a subscription-based one, where we have our very own call maker, Oscar, who is an extended part of the team, who is making sure to give some interesting trading calls to people. And I think his success rate is around 75%, 80%, something around in that realm. And that's has been quite fun in the last couple of months. Always seeing a couple of new calls come in, throwing a couple of dollars at it and see what it does. And so, yeah, I mean, it comes down at the end of the day to us trying to give people not just entertainment or education through the AMAs or the Crypto After Darks, the podcast that we also do, but also give them some value, because that's, I believe, what a lot of just normal communities are lacking. It's just like, how are they additionally providing value to the backbone of the community, which is the members. And so this is what we're striving for, and this is what we're constantly trying to evolve and bring more and more value to our members. And
Yeah, I think the conversations themselves are like a pretty good value. I mean, because of the way you guys ask the questions and how in depth you guys go, and I do like the way you guys go in without, like you're saying, without knowing anything. It does make the conversations, in my opinion, much more genuine and easier to have. Like I think the hardest one I've had of the group here today is probably Danny, because I work
know him so well.
Because I know everything, right? Like,
right.
So he'll tell you I don't know anything, but I do. I know some stuff. I
think what just to touch on what you said there, what's key also is to be impartial. There aren't enough conversations that come from an impartial standpoint. An appetite for learning from our point of view. We should have an appetite for learning, which we do. We love this space and we love learning about this space, and that includes everything that's within it, both good and bad. And the bigger the appetite we have for knowledge, the more questions we want to ask that are going to hopefully be insightful, because we're like everyone else here. We have money that we want to make, we have money we want to earn, and we have money that we want to put into things. And the best way to decide whether or not you are going to put your money somewhere is to be fully educated on where it is that you're placing that cash or that crypto. So that part of the conversation is really important, just coming from it from an impartial standpoint and making sure that the questions are not offensive, and whatever the answer is the answer. It's not about judging what or how somebody responds either. It's taking it on board, listening to what they've said, and just going with that, because it's not our job to highlight a project. It's the project owner's job to do that for themselves.
Absolutely. I guess how this would play into, right, because you guys have been hosting these things for a while, about how does the way you do it change? I know you guys are growing out this channel. So how do you guys plan to take advantage of this bull market that we're in? And what does the future overall hold for Pillars?
That was a smooth segue, dude. That was, I like that. That was nice. Good question. Well phrased. Has our approach changed? Yes, absolutely. Of course. I think we were maybe more aggressive than we are now, and more keen to make a name for ourselves. So we would be really quite on the front foot and the attack when it came to projects. And I think slowly we're learning that that isn't always the best way forward. So, you know, it's about kind of just readjusting how we approach projects. We're going to take advantage by being consistent. As Old Bull just said, there are some people like ourselves that are sitting behind avatars that aren't doxed. We think there is a place for people like us within this space. And the way that you prove that is by being consistent, by turning up and by giving people 100% of your effort. And you do that by respecting both the investor and the project. So our taking advantage will be very much to be consistent, keep up the consistency with the AMAs, and just try and bring as much value as we can to the community. If we see an opportunity, if it's an early opportunity or something that we recognize that could be quite good, and we can have a good conversation around that, we can bring it into our space. That's what we're going to be doing time and time again, to give people as much exposure to everything that this space has to offer.
All right. And so for anyone new here, if they want to be able to take advantage of those, the channels, the growing out, the AMAs, the community overall, how do you recommend they get involved, and where do they start?
I love the name, the Frat House. We might have to steal that. I didn't see any copyright thrown into the chat. So join the Frat House. Coin a phrase.
Wow.
But I know, just straight. I'm just coming in hot. No, jump into.
That's what you get from someone with an avatar and undocs, right?
Yes, exactly. Join our Discord. Come and have a conversation with us. Follow us on Twitter. Ping us. We're available for conversations. That's where you're going to be able to learn about us. You can ask any of the community members anything about us, and there are a lot of people in there that are willing to help educate you. And just come and have a good conversation with us. Listen to some of the AMAs. You know, we have a nice, strong community at the moment, and frankly, not everybody speaks, and that's okay. But we do reach a large, you know, over 75 to 80% of the community monthly we reach, and a lot of those are silent members. So those are people that are absorbing. So if that's what you want to do too, just jump in and say nothing, but have a listen, have a look around, read, and just, come and be part of the Pillars family.
Yeah, I advise everyone to jump over there and join it. I've joined it. Like, you guys have really good attendance to your AMAs as well, and the conversations are genuinely very good. You guys can tell these guys are very good talkers with some funny avatars. Actually, the potato one, for some reason, maybe it's because I just watched the League of Ungentlemanly Warfare. It kind of reminds me of like a potato version of Winston Churchill. I'm not sure. Maybe it's like the cigar and like the body shape.
That's a good one. I haven't heard that one before.
I like that.
What was the one from Hell? From the not the Helldivers. What am I talking about? That one horror movie. The Xenomorph, something like that.
Pinhead.
Like,
you're talking about the guy with the pins in his head.
Yeah.
Hellraiser.
I heard a lot of stuff.
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser. That's the one. Yeah.
But
I like the
thank
Winston
you.
Churchill one.
Thank you very much. Kind words, and you're doing an excellent job from someone who does AMAs and has tried to facilitate a bunch of these big projects. You're doing very well, so well done.
Yeah, I appreciate it, boys, and thank you for coming. It's pretty hard to. James did this last time, so those are some big shoes to fill. And having you guys on here, that means a lot coming from you. So thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Take care, boys. All right, and we are down to our last one here. So we are going to bring up 3 Meta D, and that's I keep saying Johan, but correct me if it is Johan. So let me add you up here. How you doing?
Hey man, how's it going? Great to be here. Been great listening in to some of the great projects this morning, and you had it right on your second shot. I know it's a little bit of a finicky one, but yeah, Johan is the way I kind of used to, but no worries. So what's up, man? Really appreciate being here and just kind of diving into what we're doing, getting into more familiarity with other projects and seeing how we can also potentially collaborate with.
Yeah, those are all like the things like about why we came up with the idea for this and wanted to host these is about bringing, and I've said it throughout this, is bringing projects together, learning about them. I enjoy learning about them, and there are opportunities for us like B2B to collaborate, and for people who are looking for new communities, new investments, things like that. It's great for them to be able to see stuff because there's a lot of competition out there. And if you can find someone who's willing to get on the microphone and tell you about their project, it helps. It helps a lot. So thank you for being here. And we'll just hop right in with question number one. I know you've been hanging out for a long time here. I apologize. But I do enjoy these conversations. So the first question. So this AMA has projects from many different sectors. What is the problem your project aims to solve? Johan, I can't hear you if you're talking.
Check.
Oh, there. Now I got you.
Okay. Yeah. So when we came into Web3, we kind of noted, and I think a lot of people also highlighted to us
I've lost you again.
I apologize for my spotty connection here. Hopefully you can hear me now.
Yeah, I think it's just coming in and out.
Yeah, I was kind of transitioning. I'm actually in a better place now, so I should be stable now. Apologize about that, guys.
Yeah,
But no, when we came into Web3, we kind of noted that a lot of these games really lacked what games were about, right? Games were about having fun, having interactive experiences, trying to have something that you couldn't potentially have in real life because of either potential risk, limiting factors in equipment, and so forth, right? And I looked at Web3 and I saw that none of these real games that we saw at the time really offered that to a user. And so I really kind of was able to channel in on our background, our experiences, and we'll highlight that shortly more what that is. But we were able to see kind of we could kind of leverage that background and to fulfill a need in the market. And so really what we saw and identified was a lack of actual games that were fun, were inviting, were a good investment in time, and something that also returns something in a sense of to a user's incentive, more of like a skilled or something that they can actually walk away with. And so that's kind of what our mindset was to try to kind of address when we came in, and kind of what we've been working towards to do with our first project, Org Nation, and we can really talk about that today. And so really that's kind of our moral compass, you could say, when we are developing these games or any kind of project or venture we kind of get into.
All right. I guess an opportunity to learn more about it too would come through the second question of like what is your project's USP, right? Because there's many sectors of crypto. There's a ton of competition in basically every sector. So what is the USP and how does that relate to the Org Nation? We're not getting any sound. Can you guys hear?
I'm in the same position as I was shortly.
No, I can hear you.
So weird. Sorry about that, though.
No.
But yeah, 3MetaD in itself is an entity that we kind of brought into tuition to highlight the skill sets of the people within it. And so we have game developers, 3D artists, and web developers as our main assets, but then having graphic designers and content creators come inside to reinforce all of that. And we came in with the flagship of revenue share. We actually don't have, a large investment kind of backing us up. We actually kind of came into tuition with an indie development kind of mindset, which is really we're going to create a product with a limited budget and resources, but deliver high quality and really leverage what we know how to do as our, I guess, powerhouse or main tool sets, you could say, right? And so from there, we built Org Nation to really kind of try to highlight and provide a utility, but also a great experience to people. And so, we can, again, really dive into that if you like and really just break that down on what we did with that. But what we did is really just try to provide a utility-based experience for people and really highlight the skill sets that we have in-house to really kind of set us apart from the competition, because a lot of it does lack that time or that quality behind it, which can seem to the art or even just the game experiences that we kind of already talked about.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'd say like if you have something to add about it that you think would be helpful to the audience, like definitely lay that out there, right? Because I think people are here to
Yeah.
learn about it.
I think what really sets us apart is I think the high.
Oh, I've lost him. Can you guys hear Johan? Yeah, we've lost you, Johan. Yeah, I feel bad. Let's call it, there's like a list. So you have to go through a list. So somebody has to the last, and he waited and he's having these connection problems. So I'm going to give him a minute here. Let's see what's going on in the chat though.
Hear me?
Oh, there you are, buddy. Sorry.
All right.
I know you're having connection issues.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I actually have full bars and on 5G, so it's kind of weird. But anyways, so I was just kind of talking about what we sets us apart, which is really that rich lore. We actually whole book written about the collection. We have a narrative series actually highlighting each chapter with the actual chapter of the heroes, breaking it down. But beyond that, we also have a whole set of ecosystem items ready and in live for the holders of our project. And it goes down from education guides to also just having some few mini games that are then tied to our leaderboard systems, really incentivizing the time and skills that they're able to kind of build throughout that experience. And so Orc Nation in itself gives people access to educational pathways so that they can tap into how to get into 3D modeling, game development, and other skill sets within our house set that we kind of talked about the positions that we have, really kind of leveraging that experience that we have, but also providing it back to the community so that they can also kind of learning about the tool sets that we use, basically how to tap into Blender, Maya, Unreal Engine, Unity, Photoshop, a lot of the tools that are used, and then giving them tutorials that they can actually utilize and put into action to come out with an end product so that they can feel fulfilled, but then potentially find a new passion and a new, discipline that they can get into. It's not going to become a Picasso overnight. I don't want to put those kind of, in people's heads or anything along that nature. It takes time and hard a skill to kind of develop these things. But in a sense, if they're really dedicated to it, this is kind of something that could lead to that. But also, I'd love to see also a lot of little smaller teams kind of blossom out of this to potentially become an incubation or a advisor to a lot of other projects and trying to help them kind of find their pathways throughout the space as well. Being that we do know how to do game development, and I have a bachelor's degree in game design and game art from San Francisco. So we do have other members, I think even more skilled than myself, within this skill house. And so we know what we're doing on that side of things. Really, it's just kind of what we're limited upon is the time, right, that you can really kind of dedicate to these ventures. And that's kind of what we're trying to fulfill with this Orc Nation, is really kind of provide ourselves the funding to put this into a full-time venture rather than, the weekends and nights grinds that we put into it right now, because that's kind of how we were able to even build this project. Throughout the past 2 years, we've been doing that kind of drive to get it to the finish line, and we were able to accomplish that. If you go look at the project and its art, it's really high quality stuff. And the games themselves, we have a few different interactive experiences ranging from a kind of a crypto runner game, resembling kind of a temple run, but then also ranging from a strategy driven card game called RC Duels, which is actually our flagship in our continuation project that we continue to expand on today, which is more of a rarity system card game. And just really excited to kind of be able to share with people what we've built, the team behind it, and really the people that and all the time that we put into this all. The community is still growing and we're still pushing ahead, but like you said, it is a competitive space, and we have a few things up our sleeves to kind of continue to navigate these waters, as we could all kind of say. And they're pretty rough out there, but I think with the right alliances and the right teams, you can actually get some great things built and accomplished. And so I think that's kind of where we jump into question 3, right?
Yeah. So I guess it does roll perfectly into how you plan to take advantage of the bull market and what does the future hold for you guys.
Yeah, and so like I was mentioning, partnerships and alliances and collaborations, I think are sometimes very crucial, right? Being that what we are great at is just the art, the games, the development side of things. We really may lack the actual marketing or the community side. And so a way that we can actually leverage what we're good at is supporting another community that may actually have that community side, but may actually lack the interactive and game side of things, or even just to continue to scale up with them. And so we've built a partnership with this project called Cyber 8 Yacht Club, which is actually one of the first projects on PS4, Steam, and Xbox approved. And they are one of the first metaverse platforms out there, which is, a term that we kind of got all burnt out to, but this is going to rejuvenate that because it's actually a fulfilled accomplishment that we've actually seen ourselves and, are able to kind of solidified with actual playable games that are, accessible for free soon enough. We actually have some developer codes that are being given out for beta testing from these platforms right now. And basically what we're able to do with this partnership is we're going to be able to reach, these masses on the platforms, but abstract the whole aspects of, what game and Web3 is all about, which is the whole wallet systems, right? The whole concept of actually having ownership of these DLCs is also another concept that we touched upon earlier, which is not really true having much ownership of the assets and actual things that you earn throughout these experiences, because they are actually decentralized servers within the company that owns it, like Blizzard and so forth, right? And really what we're doing here is then creating a continually open ecosystem where you can come in and utilize different assets ranging from XBXs and images, but then also expanding to playable portal systems, like a plug and play for different games that could kind of basically port over and really become that, infrastructure that everybody can deploy from, but without leaving it. And so that's kind of what they've been able to develop. And what we've been able to do is really just partner in with them and create our own marketplace that we've been really kind of really building on highlighting different type of use cases for them and continuing to build some different game cases once the whole game is fully live and active. And so that's kind of what the partnership will be able to entail for us ahead, is really just pushing it to the next level beyond just having what we have now, which is a playable portal. You can play from actual portal right now, but this would expand to actually playing on consoles and also being able to interact with console players from a free play environment. And so that's kind of where we're headed towards, but then also continuing to just build more games. We actually have 2 to 3 more games coming out in the Orc Nation holdership, and we have a whole nother project in itself called RC Duels coming out in about a year. And so we're staying busy and just really staying true to the cause of, building great experiences in games, but then also trying to expand with great partnerships and finding great people with that same compass in mind.
Yeah, and you guys are, you said you guys are based out of San Jose, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, because you went to school in San Francisco. Have you? This is a little bit off the questions, but have you found it advantageous, basically? Because you're building a tech company, right? Being down there in Silicon Valley, has it had any advantages? Do you think the connections or anything, or is it just happenstance you live there?
I mean, maybe if I was more interconnected prior to this venture, maybe that would have been more beneficial. But being that it's kind of my first time getting into this kind of being the lead or the CEO of a company, I think that it has allowed me to expand from where I have been prior. But I definitely wasn't on that trajectory. So I'm basically starting from the ground floor, and being in the Bay Area, I don't think has really created much of a difference because of the fact that everything's been so virtual that I'm just usually interacting with people from all over the world. And sometimes I do feel that there is a lack of people in the Bay Area, though, because I do look for actual conferences or other type of events within here, and there really is very little. Maybe I'm missing out on the ones that convey to where the ecosystem that I'm in, which is that we're on the Polygon blockchain, which I should have said a long time ago, Polygon blockchain. And so on the Polygon blockchain, I don't see a lot of events here, or even Ethereum. So, there is a lack of presence, I would say. So being in the Bay Area in itself on that sector from the Web3 side, I don't think has made much of a difference. On the Web2 side, I'm sure that once we have a more established, record, you could say, for them to really, I guess, could say respect or, actually take a look at, then I think that it would create a really great thing to leverage or to really highlight to them, right? Because they'd be able to kind of endorse it and maybe support it because we'd be in a better position. But I don't think that just because you're in a startup and you're in, you know, the Bay Area just means that you're going to get a bunch of money. You still need to solidify how, where, and, you know, where have you been so far in a sense of being able to get that type of incentive and funding, especially in Web3 itself. I think there's still very frowned upon, I would say, in a sense. But again, this is my take. And if other people have had a different experience, I'd love to, you know, be on your side, because I definitely would love a better, you know, positive insight within in the location or where we're at currently. Does that help?
Yeah. No, it was just a general, because I'm from the Bay, like originally. I live in New York now, but I'm visiting. I'm in Oakland right now. So it was funny, like getting on here and three of us being within like 50 miles of each other, thereabouts, with him being up in Napa, me being in Oakland, you being down in San Ho. So it was just a little my own question. So
no, yeah, really cool. And I mean, maybe we can do the local event now that we know how close we all are. So that's pretty cool, actually. And I'm all for it, like I said. So really just happy to be here and excited to see what the future lies ahead. You know, we're just getting started here in the Web3 space. I think that, you know, there's plenty for everybody to eat in a sense. And so the competitiveness that I think we kind of see is unnecessary at times. I feel like there should be a more sense of collaboration and support from one another, especially when we have different skill sets that we can kind of all benefit from if we kind of align. But also something that we'll soon to regret in the long term, though, once the bigger entities within the space come in and take these opportunities that we actually see within us right now. Because I think that once the bigger money does come in and the bigger entities like these studios that have billions of dollars invested, like Rockstar and so forth, there's not going to be the same type of environment that we're currently in. And so, I mean, this is a great opportunity for these smaller entities or even bigger ones to work within one another to really kind of, you know, highlight or take advantage of the time that we're in before it might be too late. So that's also something that we definitely took into account, and definitely, you know, something that I think others should try to kind of levitate towards, I think, because it could be, you know, a time that might not be so easy, or there might be such opportunity as today, and us just fighting amongst ourselves I don't think is wise. I think that we should really kind of support one another and build each other up, and from there we'll have that chance instead of letting them come in and having this internal civil war, you could say, is kind of really sad to see. So thank you for this time today. I really appreciate it, and if you have any questions, definitely have a few more minutes.
Yeah. Well, I guess the last one would be just for the audience, you know, like how do you recommend people get involved, and where do they start?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you guys really want to join the tribe, which is the org nation here, which is live today, we're going on the portal, which anybody can head to right now with some Polygon. We have the portal.3metad.com, which they can head to and have access to our games, educational content. We also have the leaderboards there. They can have a look at and really kind of love to highlight that real quick, which I definitely didn't earlier. It's a way to really incentivize and reward players from being able to have a great time in the games. We do a weekly kind of reward system from that. And so anybody within the ecosystem has an opportunity to gain from that. But another way to tap in is follow us on the 3metad account, and make sure you have your noties on, because we are on Twitter Spaces with our partners, you know, almost on the daily. We are highly active, highly present. And if you're not a speaker or a talker, you can also head to the Discord. And we'd love to have some new people who want to also contribute with their ideas, their feedback, and just be part of something that's meaningful more than just, you know, another project. We're here for the long term of Web3, and we're looking for other great people to join us. So appreciate anybody coming along, and thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you, buddies. You can hear someone's knocking on my door, so it is time for me to run as well. But thank you for coming, man. And just for everybody in the audience, we shared all these links out to these projects, and we will be sharing them out again. I just posted the link to our Discord. That's where we'll be giving away the prizes. So everyone who shared this out with the hashtag #FoxMegaAMA, it'll be chosen from that group of people, and then we'll announce the winners there. So join the Discord, follow the Twitter. We'll be sharing these guys out. Some great stuff. So yeah, thanks everybody for coming. And you guys have a good one. Until next time. Thanks for coming, man.
No, pleasure to meet you. And, let's do this again. Have a great rest of your day and have a great weekend. Take care, guys.
All right. Take care, y'all.